everybody, this is Mr. Nardelli. I wanted to go over a few of the problems from Module 2, the WebAssign. Some of them I've gotten some word from people, they're giving you a little bit of fits, so I wanted to take you through how to do some of them. So your problems may be different because sometimes it changes the number and stuff, but for the most part, these are the problems you're doing. So number one, I had 2/3 n equals 4. So remember what we learned, that to get n by itself, you need to somehow get rid of this 2/3. Normally we divide by 2/3, but we're going to use what's called a reciprocal. That's a fancy word for a fraction flipped. Now notice what I put over here. I put 3/2, the reciprocal. What happens is I do 3 divided by 3 is 1, 2 divided by 2 is 1, and I get 1. So by multiplying the reciprocal, I get 1n. Now I have to do the multiplication over here. When you multiply fractions, you just multiply straight across. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2. But of course you have to simplify it, and then 12 divided by 2 is 6. So we get 6 as the answer. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Sorry, that turned a little blue. Okay, this one is very similar to that scary problem I gave you that you sort of solved at the end of the night. So it said 5 plus 6 times the quantity x plus 9 equals 59 minus 9 times the quantity 3x plus 11. So first we had to do the distributive property. Remember, if you forgot what it's called, but you know how to do it, that's okay. So I drew my little arrows. I have 6. Well, first off, I just write my 5 down. I have 6 times x giving me 6x. 6 times 9 giving me positive 54. My 59 just comes down. Notice I have a negative in front, so I'm going to have to multiply negative 9 times 3x, giving me negative 27x. Negative 9 times positive 11, negative 99. Then it gives you, you'll notice you're gotten rid of your parentheses, which is good. Let's combine terms on the left and the right side. Always try to combine terms if you can. On the left side, I wrote in green that the whole numbers 5 and 54 can be combined. Right, I wrote down here is 59. I brought the 6x down. On the right side, I just did it in purple. The 59 and the minus 99 can be combined. Now, if that's confusing you, type it exactly the way you see it. 59 minus 99 into the calculator. You'll get minus, or negative, 27x minus 40. Notice what we have here. We've got this problem that has a variable on the left, a number on the right, and the same thing on the left and right. Excuse me. So we're gotten to the point where we can start cleaning it up. I like to start by getting rid of the numbers first, but you can do the variables first. But notice I have plus 59, so I subtract 59 because 59 minus 59 is 0. Do it on this side too. If you're having trouble understanding this, again, just type in exactly what you see. Minus 40 minus 59. And boom, you'll get minus 99. So I'm cleaned up on the left. I have 6x equals, and I have negative 27x. So I need to get rid of the x's on the right, so I'm going to add 27x. These guys cancel each other out. So when I add here, I have 27x plus 6x. Just think if you had 27 x's, and a friend gave you 6 x's, together you got 33 of them. Yay. So I have 33x equals negative 99. Now you just divide by this coefficient 33, and you have negative 99 divided by 33, and I didn't show the answer, but there it is. I get negative 3. Okay, third problem. This one is very, very similar to that previous one. Let me scroll so I can just about get my answer. My answer is going to show up down here in a little bit. But this case, I had 3 distributions to do. And you'll notice each one of these problems I wrote on one sheet of paper. I sometimes need it that big. Look what I also did in between. I left some space so that my numbers aren't all jammed together and I don't get confused. So, like, my jumps here don't get confused with other things. So make it so that you're able to see it. So I do 5 times 5y gives me 25y. 5 times minus 2 gives me negative 10. Again, if you're trouble, just do 5 times minus 2. Boom, you got it. Now I have over here 3 times 2y, giving me 6y. 3 times 6, giving me 18. And then I have to do the same thing over here. 25 times 3 is 75. 25 times 2 is 50. And I just have to bring this negative 14y down. So here's my equation. Now I'm going to start cleaning things up. On the left, I circled in green the variables that I'm going to combine. 25y and 6y gives me 31y's. Then I have negative 10 plus 18. Plug it in your calculator. Negative 10 plus 18 gives me plus 8. On the right side, I can't do anything with 50, but I can combine this 75y and this minus 14y to give me 61y. Okay, so look where I am, where I want to be. I'm going to start by getting rid of my 8. So I'm going to subtract 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. Over here, 50 minus 8 is 42. So I now have 31y equals 61y plus 42. I'm going to subtract 61y, and that gives me negative 30y equals 42. Now I just divide by negative 30, and I get negative 42 over 30, but I need to clean it up a little bit. Whoops, there's blue. So I just went to the calculator, and I said 42 divided by 30, and I got 1.4. Don't forget your negative. I'd hate for you to go through all this hard work and then just accidentally forget the sign. Okay, so I ran out of time to show you a concept called clearing the fractions, because we like fractions about as much as a root canal, right? Yeah, we don't like them. So what I'm going to do is look at this, and I'll look at 6 and 4 and 2 and 3 and say, what is the least common denominator between them? What that means is, what's the smallest number that 6, 4, 2, and 3 can go into? That would be 12. 2 can go into 12, 3 can, 4 can, 6 can. So what I'm going to do is multiply the whole problem by 12 over 1. So what I did is I just put this in green to show you I'm doing 12 over 1 times everything. I'm doing distribution, but I showed you each actual distribution down here. So let's take 12 over 1 times x over 6. Watch what happens. I go between the 6 and the 12, and I say 6 can go into 6 one time, 6 can go into 12 two times. So all I have left is 2x over 1, or 2x. Notice I cleared the fraction. It's now a whole number and nothing on the bottom. Now over here, it's a little bit different. I'm going to ignore this 2x plus 4 for the moment. I say 4 into 12. Well, 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. I end up getting this. Now, I didn't distribute yet. I just wrote it this way 3 times this whole quantity. Same thing over here. Cross multiply, and this one was exactly like the first one. 2 goes into 12 6 times, and I have 6 times the quantity x minus 1. Then on this side, 3 goes into 12 4 times. I have minus 4 times the quantity. So we're back to the previous problem, sort of. 2x comes down. I do my distribution, and I get 6x plus 12. Here I get 6x minus 6. Now here, don't forget to do minus 4 times 3 is minus 12. Minus 4 times minus 2 is plus 8. Okay, now we're in the cleanup stage. I'm just about at the answer. I'm showing you your answer, but that's okay. Combine 2x and 6x, 8x. 12x comes down. I can combine 6x and 8x to get 14x, and I didn't circle these, but minus 6 minus 12. Plug it in the calculator, I get minus 18. Here's my cleanup. Take away 12, take away 12, I got 8x equals 14x minus 30. Now I take away 14x, and I get negative 6x equals negative 30, and then I divide by negative 6, and I get x equals 5. Let the calculator do your thinking for you. I used it on every one of these. There were some that were like 6 times 4, and I just said, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a calculator so I don't accidentally say 36 like I've done before, because 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, this is the same type of thing, but we've got a variable down at the bottom. Now what we're going to do first is we're going to change this 1 over 1. Well, no, I'm sorry. We're going to look at x, 5x, and 5. Say, what number can all of those go into? Well, if you'll notice, 5x is the largest, because x will go into it 5 times, 5 will go into it x times. So my common denominator is 5x. But I'm also going to change this 1 into a denominator I like. I'm going to pick 5x. Anything over itself is 1. Now, notice I have my 5x over 1 multiplied by everything. But what I did is I come down here, and I'm just showing you each of these distributions. 5x and 5x cross out. Boom, it's out of there. I got 5x. That worked out nicely. Here what happened is, notice the x's crossed out. Not the 5, just the x's. So now I have 5 times 2 is 10. I wrote it as 5 times 2. Here what happens, it's another nice one. 5x and 5x cancel each other out. Yay! I get just the whole number 14. And over here, the 5's cancel out, and that leaves me x times 1 minus x. Okay, then I drop down here and I put minus 10. Blue. We add 10 to both sides. We get 5x equals 24 minus x. We add 1x to both sides, and we get 6x equals 24. And then I have 6 divided by 6 and 24 divided by 6. I get x equals positive 4. So it's a matter of setting it up. You can clear fractions on any one of these, and I will show you some more also later in class. But, honestly, it's nice to get rid of the fractions. I tell you guys, you don't like fractions. Okay, cross multiplying. This is kind of easy to set up, but you need to watch the directions to see what it asks for. So all it did was show this, but it also said put your answer to 3 significant digits. I'll talk about that in a moment. So when we cross multiply, we actually have 2 ratios here. We're saying 94.5 over 6.78 equals what over 19.3? It's equivalent fractions or ratios. So we cross multiply. I like to draw my little x's in here because I'm a visual learner. And notice we did x times 6.78 equals, and then the other way, 94.5 times 19.3. So I get 6.78x equals, and then when I multiplied these, I got 1823.85. When you're starting to get bigger numbers, take your time writing them down. Look what I did. I started writing the wrong one, and I caught myself. Okay. Now we divide by 6.78. And this is exactly what I saw in the calculator. It could even go farther. But it said 3 significant digits. That means 3 digits that are non-zeros at the very end or the very beginning. So I have 1, 2, 3 digits. So I have 269 is my answer. Now, we get into little word problems. And once you do 1 or 2 of these, it starts getting a little bit easier. Notice I didn't say easy. I said easier. So, an automobile uses 18 gallons of fuel to go 570 miles. How many gallons are required to travel 810 miles? And it says round to the nearest one decimal. Excuse me. So we can first look at it. We say an automobile uses 18 gallons of fuel to travel 570. So 18 gallons over 570. Notice I put the words there. You could put G or M, but put something to identify this. Then we have equals. Then it says how many gallons are required. Well, the unknown is the gallons, and the 810 is the miles. You knew where to put it because you put the wording there. Gallons on the top, miles on the bottom. If you put those words there, it'll help you put them in the right place. Now we do that cross-multiplying thing. X times 570 is 570x. 18 times 810 is 14580. Again, take your time. Now we divide by 570, and we get this big number. Now, the thing is, it said round to one decimal. So I should have written down 25.6. I didn't write that. I wish I did. Sorry about that. I don't think I can do it right here on this. But make sure you understand what it's asking up here. Sometimes it might say round to the nearest hundredth or thousandth. Okay, now I get to number 10, which is kind of like the same thing, only it's talking about meatloaf. And I have an awesome recipe for meatloaf if you ever want it. So, the ratio of meatloaf is 5 to 2. What this ratio means just basically is for 5 parts of beef to 2 parts of pork. So, it's anything. If I had 5, let's say I'm making a small meatloaf, 5 ounces of beef to 2 ounces of pork. Let's say I'm making it for a party. 5 pounds of beef to 2 pounds of pork. So that's the ratio, and it's 5 over 2. I wrote beef and pork. I'd suggest you at least do B and P. Then my equation over here, I know beef is on top, pork is on the bottom. It says how much pork is needed, so my pork is unknown, to 7 pounds of beef. So it's saying, okay, I don't have 5 pounds of beef. I have 7. But if I wanted to keep that ratio the same and make this taste good, how many pounds of pork? Let's think if I did it differently. If I had 5 pounds of beef, or if I said, oh, let's do 7 pounds of beef, but I'm still going to use 2 pounds of pork. The ratio's off, and it would taste different. So I do my cross multiplying. I got my 5x equals 14, and then this came out nicely to 2.8. Now, I don't know if it said round to a significant digit or not. Okay, so I hope this helps a little bit, but please shoot those questions to me, even if they're screenshots on texts. I've been getting a lot, and if I don't answer you, it's because I'm doing something right away, but I'll see something, and if I can't get it, I'll say, well, I'll be home pretty soon. I'll tackle it then. So please don't feel bad about texting me. If it's very late, my phone is on mute, so it won't wake me up, and I'll just catch it in the morning. So yes, if you see something at 2 in the morning, text me while it's on your mind. You have my permission. I've given you permission on the internet, and we know the internet is always true. Thanks. Bye-bye.